once again, looking over beautiful downtown Flagstaff, Arizona. We're at the 2023 PDGA Masters World Championships. This is the semifinals. The players have given it 4 rounds. There's been a cut. My name's Stephen Waits, and I'm joined by Steve Boylan. Steve?
Happy to be here. It's 27 players out of the 66 did get the invite to play the semifinal rounds. All 27 will cash. You're led by Chris Smith, Ryan Schweberger, Ron Convers, and Jani. So Jani's from Finland, and we're really happy to have him on the lead card. Pretty excited about it.
This is a shotgun start. Players are starting at 8 a.m. On Saturday, and immediately following this round with about a 2-hour break, they'll go straight into the final 9. So here we go. Thorpe Park, hole 1. Our leaders starting on hole 1, the chase card, which is just a couple strokes back of Jani in 4th place. They're up on hole 2. So everybody on the course at the same time, dealing with pretty much the same conditions. This par 4 is known. You got to get past the road to have a good look at it. Anything short, and you're really just scrambling for that birdie as we watch our leader, who's been leading 4 straight rounds now.
Nice. What the heck was that?
Chris has a decent fairway shot and tags a little tree, kicks him out in the middle, so he should be looking pretty good. Schwebby fires one down. He's in a pretty good position. Drifts off a little bit to the left here. He will actually have a look at it to get up and down for the 3, about 260 feet away. Ron winds up. There's a really nice Hyzer flex. Skips up, and he's going to be pretty close to that building he's been flirting with all week long.
Jani Winterhalter from Espoo, Finland, if I said that right. He's been on the chase card now, I feel like, the whole week. I feel like anytime we watch this lead group tee off, he's right there in front of them. And so having him make it on the lead card, get on coverage here for this World Championship, for the semifinals, and he's looking at staying there, playing good this round and holding it on to the final 9.
With the semifinals being set, you are looking at possibly a moving. I mean, we've got lots of players that want to move up to this lead card, so they get that final round in. So we'll see how they all do. Chris throws up. Came up a little bit short on his approach, so he's got a bit of a putt to get a birdie. Ron Convers with another Hyzer. Puts it outside circle 1, but with his putting style, he can get those anytime. Didn't take long to see a thumber from Schwebby. Looks like he put it really close to where Chris is.
You mentioned moving. There's a 4-way tie, tied for 6 at 15 down, just 7 strokes back of Chris. And if we go back and look at, we're just looking at the leaders here. They're around for round 3 when they were at Thorpe Park last. Chris only shot 2 down, so it's definitely in somebody's wheelhouse to make a move, especially from this guy when he's making putts like that. Our MP50 runner-up putting champion.
Ron Convers is a putting stallion. He putts with the best of them. Really excited to see him make that putt starting out. Jani's here he's putting for a birdie as well. You saw Chris and both Schwebby just missed theirs, and so we could be looking at a couple birdies, depending on what Jani does.
There it is.
They're right.
I didn't need any chains, yeah.
Got a soft Hyzer putt. It works for these conditions, obviously, with low wind, and I'm excited to see what he's going to be able to do. Chris has got a little bit of work to clean up, but shouldn't be too much of an issue.
Practice. is the difference between good and great. Distractions are obstacles. Eliminate them and see how far you can go.
Hole number 2, 361 feet, par 3. You actually have two lines at this. You have a slight hyzer line or the straight. You do have that fence on the right, but it really doesn't come into play. And as you can see here, the wind is still really calm as it's early in the morning for these guys. We'll see what they can do. Ron throws a little flex. He gets caught up on a tree on the right side a little bit. Looks like Jani's going to go with the forehand. Standstill forehand from 360 feet. It is slightly downhill, but that's a workhorse if you can be able to get up there. He does a nice flex, gets through the trees, and wow, he puts it inside the circle. Got that little putt. And all of a sudden, he may be 2 down after the first 2 holes.
Hole 2 here, playing over par for the whole week with the full field. Ron able to card a birdie back in round 1. Playing slightly easier with the after the cut line today at just 0.1 under par. And there's our reason why right there. When players are sticking them close, like we've seen on this card, a few of them have given themselves a chance for birdie.
Chris still had to throw pretty hard to get to there. He did hit a tree pretty close to the target. He'll have that left to get a par. Man, it just shows you if you're a little bit off on this, you really have to have a really nice approach. And speaking of approaches, there you go. You got a really nice one from Ron Convers. He's been accurate all week long. Chris nailed that long putt.
Good putt. Yep.
Got a little bit of a fist pump. He's got some excitement going on. He's par for the first 2 holes.
Not trying to give up too much to Brian. There's a stroke right there, though, and Brian's going to need to see that a lot this round if he wants to make up any of those strokes on Chris. Chris only had a 1-stroke lead going into it, so with the tie now, but we know he can catch fire, and that putting is on point for him.
Jani here, finishing out the birdie, so he's 2 for 2 after the first 2 holes, the semifinals. He may really make a splash here today. Let's take a look and see what he's got going on. Hole number 3, 350-foot hyzer shot for a right-hander, lefty, and hyzer. And it's a really difficult pin position because you're going uphill and you got this bushy tree right there. 350 foot with how far it's got to go left. It's got to go left probably 60, 70 feet left as it's going uphill, and very, very difficult shot to reach that pin.
Jani was just showing us exactly where to put it, getting probably as far as we've seen down the fairway, and not a lot of them on the left side, so he really was able to hug the corner, throwing something that, rode it without turning too far over to the right or hyzer out early. And Brian following suit, same line down the middle of the road, so really good drives there right out the gate for this card.
These guys are figuring the hole out. The hole still has not played to any birdies so far this week. It doesn't appear that Ron got as far up as the other guys, but with his approach style, I don't think he's going to have any issues. Chris catches throws a little bit low, catches the curb there. I mean the ditch right there. A lot of rocks. He's got a little approach. This is a touchy shot, and He puts it right up close.
Yeah, really relying on the stability of that suspect there to make sure it comes back, and just knowing, the right distance, getting it out far enough left. Ron here, getting something that's going to be so nice too, yeah.
They both had forehand approaches. It kind of shows you that this course demands different shots from different people. Schwebe comes up a little bit short on his putt. This is Jani's opportunity to go 3 for 3 on the first 3 holes. Looks like he's about 45 feet out. Puts it a little bit high. He's got that left for par. Still overall a really nice start.
Jani now one of the better drives that we've seen.
As you guys tap in for 3, we did mention that this hole has been playing with no birdies this week, except for today. We had 2 birdies. John Melns and Robert Ryan both got this hole. Shout out to those 2 guys for a job well done on this one. Hole number 4, 308 feet. Kind of a Hyzer hole again for these guys. Does settle down in a bunch of little rocks near the target, so a lot of times those prevent some skips, and we'll see what these guys can do. Jani takes the soft Hyzer look, and yeah, he puts it up inside the circle. This is a nice showing from Jani early on. Ron clips a tree, and he's going to have a little bit of work yet to do to be able to get that birdie.
Ryan gave us some ace runs earlier in the week. Definitely one that he's hoping to do again.
Chris actually hits looks like the same tree that Ron did, and he's got some work left. Let's see if he makes a big run at this. He's pretty happy with the 3 apparently. He's playing very, very patient golf. He's not had a whole lot of opportunities to get birdies, so the patience is really showing through. He's not getting frustrated, not running after things he shouldn't do, and wow.
Yeah, he's not, like you said, he's not getting the birdie opportunities, but he's also not just going to cough up strokes to the other players, make them earn it, and buy his time. He's played this course really well. Overall, he knows what's coming up ahead, and he's got a forehand that can really form some shots that these other players just don't have that might be able to reach. I know 6 is something that he looks forward to.
Jani with another birdie. He was not too far off the lead, so Schwebe and Chris are still tied. They both missed the birdie opportunity. Just one birdie out of this lead group on a hole that plays one of the easiest at 2.74. Hole number 5, 401 foot par 3. This is a difficult hole. You have a small lane on the right side, and on the left side it opens up a little bit, but you have to get creative on your upshot. Looks like Jani's going to drive throwing another standstill forehand. He does, and he actually gets really decently up in the fairway. So looking like he may have a pretty easy approach from there. Schwebe really tries to fire one. He clips a tree. He's not too far out, so I anticipate nice, easy approach for him. Ron fires one. Puts a little bit too much juice on it, but it still gets up there. These guys are looking pretty good overall.
Chris started this round with just a few strokes lead, but still a lead over these players. And now 5 holes into the semifinals, everybody is tied up at the top at 22 down right now. It's definitely definitely something that he's going to have to be paying more attention to than what he wanted to, probably sooner than later as well. You know, he's hoping to have a couple birdies by now and keeping pace with these guys. But even Jani catching them now.
Yeah, interesting thing is he was a little tight on that drive, and his approach shot got a nice little kick toward the target. So, yeah, these guys are playing pretty well. Schwebby skips just a little bit long. And Ron's last to throw on this approach shot. Throws a little forehand, gets up there right next to the target. He'll have a tap in for a par. Not a bad play, especially for this hole. If you can't get up close to it, you definitely want to get a par because you don't want to lose strokes to anybody. Chris with a nice solid putt. That's his second longer putt so far this round. So he's putting well. Good thing. Good to watch it. And Jani is putting for. He smacks the tree. He's gonna be laying underneath the basket for a bogey now.
Hole 5, another hole that just is sneaky tough. I mean, it's got distance on it, but from the tee, it looks like it's right there. Another hole that just doesn't see a lot of birdies, if any.
No birdies on this on the semifinal rounds. In fact, it bogeyed more than it birdied, and at a clip of 33%. So 9 out of the 27 players did bogey this hole.
Oh, 600-foot par 4 here at Thorpe Park. Mando on our right, we just passed it on this side. We're looking at the landing zone as the camera slows. You want to find your way to the basket, locate the basket, get you a good path through here. If you're too far along, you got those trees on the left, and then the right side isn't as crowded until you get down to the basket. Really, the best shot is just straight down the middle and then turn the corner and come straight at it from this angle. It's just right there. Just 600 feet, Steve.
Yeah, just 600 feet. I mean, you gotta have a nice throw, but you do want it to go right as far as possible. Schwebby is really flirting with this Mando. He gets the green flag, does clip some trees, so he's got to look at it from there. Convers is up next. He's also flirting with that Mando tree. Gets the green flag as well. He's in the wide open spaces though, so he may have some different options in getting to that target. Chris took down really well.
Yeah, the tree down the middle is one to aim for, and Chris, took a good aim at it, came just inside of it, and that put him in position really, right on the right edge of the opening, right around the corner. Jani with the standstill forehand.
We've seen that forehand a couple of times this round. I mean, 350 feet is nothing for him, and again, he does it just as well as anybody here.
Yeah, he threw around the outside of the tree that Chris went inside, so both of them in position to have a good look at it, and Brian having to come from the far right side of this hole is that standstill, and then the approach here is going to leave him with a lot to work with.
Standstill shot with your patent pending, with your foot and legs spread out like that, getting 200 or 300 feet off of that, 300 plus is what it looked like he got, is really difficult. He shows a lot of power and finesse at the same time. Jani with his approach.
Great positioning here, looking straight at it, a flex forehand. And that's just past the pin, yeah.
He's well within inside the circle. He just got a short putt to get that bogey back.
It slopes away. I have to see if he got past any bushes down there, and Chris as well. Chris is going to be left side of the green. He got caught it behind some trees right inside circle's edge that the camera lost the disc on. Ron, after hitting a first available on his approach shot, getting it right into the basket, looking to scramble for that par, and as we were saying, Brian being right edge circle 2 the pin, about to work it over there.
He went with the float and Hyzer putt, and man, he made a really nice run. Chris's shot here much closer than we looked at, but it does have some trees he's got to work through. Amazing that he was able to get up and down for a 3 after being in that. Fantastic. Ron showing his putting prowess. Yeah.
So Jani went just past the pin. A little bit of a drop off there right underneath it, but you know, he's got a little bit of stuff in the way. He's gonna have to straddle out one way or the other.
He was tied going to the last hole, fell one back, so he needs this to keep within 1 of Chris, and just a little bit high. So on this hole, Chris regains lead from Schwebby and is now 2 ahead of Jani. All the players are playing really well.
07, 271 foot par 3. The first time these players are going to have to really pay attention to the out of bounds. It's the road down the left side, just inside that road on the ditch line. It's a factor for anything going too far along or Hyzering out early. These players with the forehands and the turnovers they got, they're featured the lead card, you know, they're pure in these gaps and they're parking them close. Look at Chris's shot here.
It's automatic for Chris on that little forehand. Schwebby's been playing this hole fantastic, doing a nice floater and Hyzer, sliding up there toward the target. He does the same thing again. It hits a little rock, kicks him a little left, but he's well within his circle. Pretty easy putt for that guy. Ron's going with just a power anhyzer and clips a tree, kicks him a little bit left. I think he's probably safe and inbounds. We'll get up there and we'll see that here in a moment. I know Jani's disappointment on the last hole. Pushes a little wide. Still gets a nice skip up there. He's on circle's edge to be able to get a putt. Trying to regain that putting throw.
Brian's got an angle here where he can really go for it. We've seen him make some long ones this week, and that was a great bid for it, right up underneath the basket.
Nestles up on there, right in that
chip multi area, yeah. Yep, wood chips. No, just outside.
Just misses right. Wow. Schwebby fires and has no problems with this one. He wants to maintain, a throw or two from Chris to be able to get that title.
Yeah, we hit on Chris going nothing but pars through the first 5 holes, but up until that birdie there by Brian, he's been 4 straight. So really, like, neither player taking any opportunity over the others. But at the same time, I mean, these first 6-7 holes here on this course, there's not a lot of birdie opportunities to be had.
They get some really difficult holes. You had the 330 par on hole 3, and you got the 401. Those are your 2 most difficult holes, and they're on the front 9. So yeah, I mean, I think you called that one. So it's hard to make major moves. But with Chris getting those last 2 birdies, he's I think everybody's tied at 2 down or close to it.
Yeah, Ron 1 down, Chris 2 down, Brian 2 down, and Jani 2 down. So, you know, they at one point everybody was tied for the lead, and they let Chris back in it with those back-to-back birdies, and if he can just keep this kind of pace going here, no bogeys thus far, and with the lead over the players, they're going to have to start stepping it up coming into some of these longer holes and some of these tighter fairways, like this hole right here. Shape it left to right, or right to left.
These guys all want it. It's just a matter of will they be able to execute. Chris is not going to give it away. So someone's going to have to go up there and just take these birdies. And wow, look at this shot from Ron Convers. He goes up higher on the target. He's got a downhill putt at this. Jani with another standstill, forehand. Flexes it through. And has a really pretty shot. He's in the circle. He made
the circle, yeah. That's a birdie putt right there.
Really hard on this 330-foot uphill shot. So this does not get very many birdies.
Well done approach there for Brian, throwing it into the hillside right up underneath the basket. This putt for Chris, it's going to be downhill and away from him, so he's got to make sure he doesn't let anything leak out. Keeps it low. Probably didn't get as close as he wanted, but I mean, it's better than going past it, yeah. Ron, again, he has it down. This is a much more steeper putt looking at the basket.
He goes for it.
Sticks it out there. What a putt.
Amazing. Man, this guy he's not letting guys off the hook. He's like, I want my fourth.
And that takes him to 2 down with the rest of the cards for the round now.
Jani's trying to get his putting stroke back. He does.
Not to be big putted. He's now 3 down for the round. So there, Jani's back into it. He's got a stroke back on Chris.
We still have some work here to do. And he has no problem. No problem at all with
keeping a clean card for 8.
Yeah. Beautiful putt. Brian with the drop in. Through 8. Looking pretty tight.
Why disc golf?
It's the people.
It's fun.
It's being in nature.
It's the lucky shots.
It's the feeling.
It's different.
It's the challenge. It's the throws.
So come out.
Grab a disc.
Or 2. And let it fly with Lone Star Disc.
Steve, we've seen this hole a few times. We know that it's a birdieable par 4 tight fairways here. You yourself made it into the semifinals as well, so you're competing and moving up here. What are you guys looking at on this hole?
There's actually 2 lanes. There's a Hyzer lane if you flex it over just after about 60 feet down the fairway, and just let it filter back toward the hole. Ron tries going straight up the middle, and he's got a little bit difficult approach to this. Jani he's sort of backhand. He did take that wider route, and he's going to be up there near those bushes left of that target, so he's got to go right over those. May actually be able to give it a nice little run. This is the softest of all the holes on the course. It plays, let's see, what's this play? 3.3. So out of the 27 players, you had 78 of them getting birdies on that. So we anticipate these guys to all do really well in this hole.
Yeah, this hole played is the easiest hole, of course, on the front 9, and the second easiest behind hole 18 on the back. The back 9's got some easier holes coming up, as we'd mentioned, and compared to those few starting holes here in the front side. So, you know, you have a hole like this, 27 birdies, you have to get it. At this point in the game, there's no disc golf left. You're running out of time. Those players looking at moving up the cash line or moving up into the final 9. And Brian executing a great shot from really nothing with that little thumber he's got, just a thumber up there.
This looks like he's got to go just over these trees, throws a little Hyzer. Oh, pretty close. Lands in the mulch pile underneath the target. Jani has those trees that he has to deal with, that bush. Can't see the target, but you know where it's at. And you throw and you kind of hope. You don't want it to be stayed close. If you do miss it, you definitely challenge at this. Ron's got this putt. It's a little tester putt. Just a little bit low. You can see his frustration. He has to turn around. Schwebby takes his time, puts it in. Birdie for Schwebby. Looks like Chris and Jani were also cleaned up for the birdies.
Yeah, so through 9 holes here, we had 1 bogey from Jani Winterhalter back on hole 5. But other than that, the leaders playing the front 9 really clean. As again, easier holes to the front 9 or harder holes to the front 9 here. So that is the key to being able to keep up with Chris, who's carrying the 1-stroke lead. It's tight. Like, I'm super excited to see these semifinals with nobody really jumping away from the pack and looking at the rest of the board. Besides these 4 players who have separated themselves, it's a tight race here at the top.
Yeah,
And,
Jani and Ron are only 2 throws back. Chris has, got the lead at 25 under, and Schwebby's just 1 throw back. So these guys
keeping great pace here with each other. Steve, thanks again for the help with the commentary, and good luck for the Black 9. Yeah,
it's been my pleasure, my privilege to be with you guys, and hope to see you guys out on the course.